Hello, Allison Powell here, advisory teacher supporting the inclusion of pupils with Down syndrome. This training pack is a look at using the Down syndrome toolkit, which is a resource I've put together over the last 4 or 5 years or so, designed at enabling TAs, LSAs and class teachers to set a lesson up in such a way that's easily prepared, instantly accessible and successful for pupils with Down syndrome. All of the resources draw upon that strength in the learning profile of a pupil with Down syndrome, which is their capacity to use their visual learning, their visual memory. So they all play upon that, and they all have application across the curriculum, or at least the majority do. There are some which play specifically to the English and the literacy curriculum, and some designed specifically for numeracy, but the vast majority have access across the curriculum. I would say, if you've not already done so, to check out first of all the introductory training package that's gone out to schools already, and then to look at this as a team after that. At the beginning of the year, I would suggest that you start with the full toolkit, and that you then, as a team, explore which of those are more successful for you, for the way that you work, for different learning environments and different subject teachers' approaches, but also obviously for the student with Down syndrome. And that perhaps at the end of the first month or by October half term, that you thin that down to a much more usable core of resources, of templates, that becomes the toolkit that you use for your student. I would also ask that perhaps once or twice a year that you come back together as a team and review the toolkit to see whether there are things that you've discarded at the beginning of the year that you could now reintroduce. But it's designed to be a very usable and flexible resource. Take a look through. It's divided up into 5 separate sections. So the first section looks at organisational skills, toolkits with templates which are designed to enable the pupil with Downs to get a sense of time passing through that lesson, a sense of how those lessons look in terms of the 3 core elements of a lesson, and then breaking each section down into about a 20-minute chunk with a task planner. So the act of feeling enabled to see visually that you're progressing through a lesson is incredibly empowering, and for the pupil with Down syndrome who can't keep that information in their memories long enough when it's just delivered verbally. But it's also incredibly important to self-esteem. You feel in control, you are in control, and therefore you're much more likely to be in the right frame of mind for learning and for sustaining your focus. So that's the first section. The second section is all about motivation and rewards. Won't you already have a reward system as a school, but there's no harm, and in fact it can be really useful to have a very specific, bespoke visual reward on the desk. Incredibly important when you're targeting a specific behaviour, when you're wanting to help a pupil understand that there's a specific behaviour they need to learn to adapt, adopt or give up. And so there's a section on that, and a separate one for rewarding older teenagers, which is a blank. There's no harm in personalising those. There's no harm for the Doctor Who lover, or with a favourite pop star or actor, whatever it might be, to personalise those, or to enable the pupil themselves to spend some time copying and pasting images from Google onto their own reward chart. The biggest, by far, section of this is section 3, which is consolidation. It's designed to get right to the heart of the lesson content. And you'll see that to a large extent, all of them come down to literacy skills. All of them are designed to enable the pupil access the core vocabulary, to create sentences and compose sentences around them, to extend their sentences using conjunctions, to visually plan paragraphs or extended pieces of writing, even where their ability to write isn't yet at the point where they can necessarily write in a paragraph or an extended piece. But to look at the framework, the skeleton outline of that, so that they begin to being able to organise their thoughts and their ideas and to show their knowledge. So there's an awful lot there, breaks down with lots of examples of how those have been used in various lessons. Second part of this chunk, this consolidation of learning, looks at the skill of inference. The reading ability of the vast majority of pupils with Downs is relatively strong. They're visual learners, and therefore the text stays put, and therefore their reading age can be really quite impressive, can more or less keep pace with their actual age up until junior school. So they're good, strong readers. What doesn't keep step with that is their comprehension age, because holding on to the information that they've just read long enough to unpick it for meaning is something that plays to the heart of what's most tricky, which is their short-term auditory memory. So inference, the ability to infer meaning from text, is really tricky. And that can be something that can be targeted across the curriculum. And so there's a range of resources there to extend their ability to infer meaning from text, from vocabulary, and to build on that with various activities. And the fourth section for this multi-curriculum approach is, or this cross-curricular approach, is conversation, because it's incredibly important. In the introductory training session, we talked about the importance of pacing a lesson, of breaking it up, chunking it up, and interspersing bursts of directed learning, adult-directed learning, with soft tasks and opportunities for social conversation, social communication. And so section 4 are a range of extra templates designed to offer you an on-the-spot way in to trickier sections of your lesson by creating an opportunity for social communication. But there's also some examples there of templates that we first looked at section 3 in the consolidation of learning, and giving you examples of ways to make those sociable, to enable the pupil to use these templates to involve their classmates in moments of the lesson, which just create that change of pace that's so important. And then the final section is all dedicated at numeracy. It's calculation. So it's all dedicated at the complicated business of enabling students with Down syndrome to get a sense of number. I will put together a separate and bespoke training package around the use of Numicon and the use of these templates to target that building understanding and conceptual understanding of number, because it's a really challenging area. The problem with maths is it all plays to that most tricky short-term auditory memory. The working memory is called upon to a huge extent with maths, and so we need to look at other ways to make that visual, to break it down, avoiding multitasking, and to make it concrete, to play to that kinesthetic learning strength. So that will come out as a separate little focus. But that's the toolkit. Like I say, have a look through it all. Have a look through the different strategies that are suggested within those toolkit, and I hope you find that a really practical and valuable resource. Once the term starts, by all means keep in touch with your advisor, and we can have specific conversations about aspects of the toolkit if you need some further guidance. And also it may be that over the course of the autumn term that you find your student needs help with a skill that isn't already targeted within the toolkit. Toolkit's very much an evolving pack, and we're adding to it all the time and deleting some and improving on it. So do keep in touch regarding that, and if there's anything new that we can put together for you, we're very happy to do that. Okay, thanks very much, and see you soon.